Got it.
Now we are. Yes.
Okay, well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We actually are looking forward to giving this presentation. We had a chance to meet and put together some of our highlights, and at the end there'll be opportunities for comments and questions. So without further ado, Jason, would you share your land acknowledgement?
Sure, I'd love to. I respectfully acknowledge that we're meeting collectively across these lands. I'm currently situated on the treaty traditional territory of Mississauga and Anishinaabe. Collectively, we offer our gratitude to all the First Nations people for their stewardship, care for, and teachings about Turtle Island, our Earth, and our relationship with the lands. May we continue to honor those teachings through our thoughtful commitment to acknowledgement and support the healing to those generations of people affected by colonialism and racism. And I invite all of you to commit to acknowledging the First Nations people where you are, so that we may continue together to actively support this healing and unity for future generations. Miigwech.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. All right. Well, a special welcome today to our PHAC representatives that have joined us today. I see on my screen here, and I'm not sure if I'm seeing everyone, so I'm a little frustrated here, but I do see Suchita and Lana, and we have Rosetta.
Blanca was here. I don't know, is anybody else here from?
I think that if she hasn't already, she's just coming from another meeting. So Nancy Bolton, who's the
Yes.
manager on the children's
There
team.
she is.
Nancy's here.
Welcome, Nancy. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are, I am Kim Grossklag, and I am one of the co-chairs of our coordinating committee. Our other co-chair, unfortunately, could not join us today, but she was with us to help prepare the agenda for the day and everything. So Sheena, unfortunately, Sheena Joseph couldn't join us. And here we go. Sydney, you have a little warm-up for us.
Yes, and my name is Sydney Bell. I'm the program lead for our Ontario network of CAPC and CPNP projects. I work out of the sponsoring agency for the network, which is Camino Wellbeing and Mental Health, which is located in Kitchener, Ontario. And we'll have a chance to check in with Debbie a little later, but yes, we have a few warm-up slides, and I'm playing with a tool called a Mentimeter. So I invite people to, if you have access, to go to menti.com. If you're able to bring that up on your computer, and then we'll have a little PIN number for you to join in. I'm going to share my screen here. So you see at the top here, we're at menti.com, and the login number is 64609615. So hopefully most of you are able to make it there, and invite you to go to the second slide, which is we often hear different pronunciations of our funders' acronyms, whether it's, so we're curious, for those who are here, do you pronounce, how do you pronounce PHAC? Do you pronounce it PHAC, or do you pronounce it PHAC, or maybe you have some other way of pronouncing it? So I'm hearing that, are people, Lee, okay. Is anybody having trouble getting onto the Menti? Okay.
It's saying that the presentation is loading.
It's loading. Okay. Let me see here. If I view results, anything come up? I have to admit, I am still on a learning curve with this. Hopefully we might just have people put in the in the chat if I can't get this going.
Sydney, it's not sliding forward, like I'm in it and I can see the title here, but it's not going to the next slide where it's letting us pick.
Oh, I wonder if it's would it be a different code?
No, it shouldn't be. You should just be able to advance forward and it should advance with us.
Right, but it's not advancing forward. So obviously there's some user error on my part, so I apologize. But I invite people to maybe put in the chat, are you a PHAC or a PHAC person? Oh, Lee, sounds like you said I wonder how you actually say that, Lee. PHAC, PHAC. Seems to be somewhat split. Our actual staff members, Nancy is saying she says PHAC. Jason PHAC. Okay, so it's still about an even split, I would say. Yeah. Okay, excellent, thanks. Well, now we're curious about who's in the room in terms of, are you here from a CAPC or a CPNP or a both? Please feel free to put that in the chat as well. Lots of folks from both. CPNP, both. CAPC, awesome. It's really too bad the slides aren't working because, well, anyway, it's just too bad. I will figure it out, I promise. Now we're curious just about the different roles that everybody has. Are you here as a frontline staff, program facilitator, supervisor, manager, admin, or are you a PHAC staff person? Got some variety here, frontline staff, ED, directors, few executive director folks, combo stuff, admin and frontline, sponsor. Well, welcome. It's great to have such a variety of folks here. That's really great. And then I think let's go to, we were thinking it would be nice, the slide was going to generate a really pretty word cloud, but we'll create a pretty word cloud in the chat. Just invite people to share one word or maybe a phrase to describe, you know, how the network has impacted the work of your program. Take a moment. We love to hear, you know, what role we play or what impacts we make. I'm reading supported, informed, inspiring, information sharing. These are great. Support, hearing lots of support, increased knowledge, connection. That's excellent. Thank you so much. Education, information sharing. Training. Great. Thank you.
That would have looked great in a, what do you call it, a word?
Let's imagine it in
Yeah.
a word cloud. Maybe I'll save the chat and create one with all these great words. There's probably just some little setting I haven't tweaked on this slide. Okay, thank you. Thank you for participating in our warm-up exercise.
Nice to know who's in the room, eh? Okay.
Now where are we at, Kim?
We are, I'm we are getting to your first, the network infographic.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's coming.
I made it. Made it.
All right. And we're going to start at the bottom up.
So actually, Debbie encouraged you know, a bit of a reflection and looking to get on paper a map of our Ontario network of CAPC and CPNP projects. And so Kim and I worked together, and this is what we've got so far in terms of providing a pictorial overview of our network. And so what we want to do is just take you through this graphic, and you can see we start at the top with network member, and then the different 5 zones, and the coordinating committee. Let's do some muting here. Okay. And then the sponsor agency and myself as the network program lead. And so we thought in terms of going through it step by step. Debbie, you you agreed to maybe reflect a little bit on the role of the sponsor agency. So
Absolutely.
do that. Thank you.
So the sponsoring agency, we actually receive the funds from Public Health Agency of Canada to oversee the support for the network. And one of the things that we got talking about it as a coordinating committee is, what are the differences? The network is the whole body of people across the province, but the sponsoring agency, we hold the funding and we work with the coordinating committee to create a work plan in order to be able to create a work plan to support all of the projects across Ontario. So Sydney's position is hosted through us as the program lead, and she would be the doer of all of the kinds of things that happen to support all the other parts of this, the coordinating committee, the zones, and the network. And so our role is to help create those work plans, to host the position, and then help to be able to move it forward. So I actively sit on the coordinating committee, as does Blanca, and we help to move the work forward across the province.
Thank you, Debbie. Does anybody have any questions for Debbie? Or comments? Okay. And then Kim, I think you were going to.
Yeah. So I thought I'd speak a little bit about the coordinating committee. The committee members, they're representatives from all of the 5 network zones, and you will get to meet everyone from the zones in just a few minutes. But as well as on the committee, there's representatives, as Debbie had said, from herself from Camino, and from, I'm not sure if I should say PHAC or PHAC now, but I say PHAC. But Blanca, it's so great to have you at our meetings. And from Our Children, Our Future, we have a representative. So, and the committee is co-chaired last year by myself, as well as Sheena Joseph, who I'd mentioned earlier cannot be with us today. So the role of the network committee is to connect, inform, engage, and respond to support projects in improving the health and well-being of vulnerable children, ages 0 to 6, their families, and communities. So the role involves balancing 3 important facets. First off, we're supporting network learning and development in a virtual environment. The second role is a strategy implementation to improve the health and well-being of young children. And the third role is fostering collaboration among network members and stakeholders. And the purpose of the coordinating committee meetings are to plan, review, and coordinate initiatives to support the knowledge exchange and community building goals of the network. So the funding and sponsor agencies provide regular updates at our meetings. The program lead, Sydney, offers information on ongoing initiatives and work plan progress. And the members provide updates from their respective zones at the coordinating committee. And following our meetings, the representatives take any updates or information from the coordinating committee, and they take that back to their zones. So it's a great highway of information. During the past fiscal year, the committee gathered eight regular meetings. And in addition, we had our 2 half-day annual meeting days in May, and with a follow-up in November. And this past year, we did return once again back to our regular monthly meetings. The year before, we had experimented with going every second month, but it just didn't seem that was enough. So we went back to our every monthly meeting. And, speaking from personal experiences, being involved on the coordinating committee, it's been such a growing experience for me. You sit around a table with this group of passionate people. It's a real think tank, and it's great to be part of this brainstorming and planning. The committee really endeavors to help serve the projects who are trying to serve vulnerable populations, and we know it's such hard work to do that. So it's nice to be part of the brainstorming committee, I call it sometimes, but it's been a really rewarding experience for me. So now I would like the coordinating committee members that are here today to introduce yourselves by zone. And please tell us what project you were with and what community you're located in. And
Sydney, can you take us off the screen so we can see people?
Sure, I sure can.
Perfect. And, maybe we can start in the Northwest zone.
Who do we have? That would either be, Colleen.
There's
Hello.
Colleen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen Gelman. I'm the Executive Director of Breast Valve Family Resource Center, and we're located in the small community of Dorian, which is about a 45-minute drive east of Thunder Bay, not North Bay. So we are in Northwestern Ontario, and I've been part of the coordinating committee. This is my second time on the coordinating committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. And Sunny Kopanitz used to be a member of our coordinating committee, but she has left her position. But it was nice to have her on our committee representing the Northwest. And from the Northeast, I know Rochelle is not with us today. Is Stephanie here?
She is, I think she's calling while she's traveling. So whether or not she's
Hello.
able to. Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm in a car, so I hope it's not too loud. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Stephanie Razzo. I'm from the Northeastern Zone. I work for Our Children, Our Future. We have CAPC and CPNP programming. And I've been on the coordinating committee for probably about 2 years now and have enjoyed it greatly. So if there's a spot available and anyone's ever considering, take that chance because there's a couple spots open. So I'll put a little plug in for that.
Good job, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, we can move on to the Southwest zone. Do we have anyone here from the Southwest?
I'm in the Southwest zone. My name's Erin Young. My pronouns are she, her. I'm at Camino Wellbeing and Mental Health in the Waterloo region. And we have CAPC and CPNP programming. I supervise both programs. And I've been on the coordinating committee for about 2 years now or so.
Thank you, Erin. And in the Southwest, we well, Sheena, our co-chairs from the Southwest, Katrina Clark, Alan Bachtold, and Jocelyn Wells used to be with the Southwest, but she's also moved in her position. So we no longer have her part of our coordinating committee. In the Central, I'm not sure if
Kim, sorry, a couple things. We do have Katrina here. I think she could.
no.
Yeah.
Hey, Katrina, there you are. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'm Katrina Clark. I'm with Rural Response for Healthy Children. I am in the Southwest Zone, and I've been on the coordinating committee for maybe 6 months. Yeah, and it's been a really great experience.
Thank you, Katrina. Sorry about that. You're a lovely addition to the coordinating committee.
I see Tina has her. Okay. Did you have a question, Tina?
No, I think I missed. I thought anyone from Southwest was introducing themselves,
Right.
but just
Right.
the coordinating
Gotcha.
committee. So thanks.
Gotcha. No worries.
Okay. Now, I think we have everyone from the Southwest. Central Zone, Maria, she's not here today. No, and then Margaret Leslie used to be part of our coordinating committee, but we know that Margaret has retired and we do miss her. And from the East.
I can start. I'm Jason Brock. I'm with the Peterborough Child and Family Centers. We have CAPC and CPNP here in Peterborough, and I represent the East Zone. Been on the committee for a few years now. It goes by fast. It didn't seem like that long.
It doesn't. Thanks, Jason. Nicola, I'm not sure if she's able. Oh,
yeah,
there.
I'm okay. I'm on with my phone, so sorry if it's not very good connection. I'm Nicola Lyle, and I'm also with Peterborough Child and Family Centers. I'm the CEO currently, although I've been in many different roles in my 21 years with the agency. I'm kind of coming on to the committee for a second time, representing the East Zone. I think that's it.
Thank you, Nicola. And we're glad you came back onto the committee. Lots of experience there. Diane Sheridan has joined our East Zone again. I don't think she's here with us today. And
no,
myself.
I don't see her.
Oh, no.
No,
okay.
I don't see her. Yeah.
And I'm also from the East Zone, and we're with the CAPC CPNP project in Killaloe, mobile programs kind of in the southwestern corridor of Renfrew County. Yeah, and I've been on the committee for several years now as well. Okay.
So Kim, may I give a shout out to our zone chairs as well? I want to acknowledge Yvette, who's here as zone chair in the center. Would you like to say a quick hello, Yvette?
Sure. I see some amazing, wonderful, I'm not going to say old faces, familiar faces. And I see so many new faces. And so it's so exciting to see, a fresh new crop of strong, smart and bold men and women that are helping the next generation of mothers and families in our communities. So hopefully we'll get some representation on the coordinating committee as we maybe even volunteer some people.
Well, it's a good plan, Yvette. I like it. Also, Ellen Bachtold and Lori Wilson, co-chair in the Southwest Zone. I'm not sure if either one of them are there, but if you are, hello, you're welcome to. And Rochelle Peltier also plays that double role of representing the North East Zone and also chairing those meetings. Also a shout out to Rhonda Turbide, who's very dedicated zone chair in the Northwest Zone. And then who I missed? East Zone. We've had San Elisar and Alex Cloutier chairing in the past year. And currently Kim is volunteering, doing double roles for now. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those folks.
Thank you, Sydney. You want to roll right into our highlights of the year?
Great. think we're back into the share. This is right. Yes. And was I starting, Kim? I think I was, right?
Yeah.
And just wanting to acknowledge some of the things that we thought really stood out to us for this past year. We definitely host a lot of events. And so there were 3 of them. There's a lot of them. But as in terms of a highlight, we wanted to mention in February, we hosted our, I believe it's our 5th annual online conference, a 2-day event. Which was quite well received and just a lot of fun. We also, as part of that, those few days, we had a pre-conference virtual blanket exercise, which I believe we had space for 30 network members to attend, which was a really powerful and moving experience for those of us who were able to take part in that. And last year we had a really successful maternal mental health toolkit training. And for those who are unaware, the maternal mental health toolkit is just an excellent resource that has been around for many years. But it's definitely an example of best practice programming that was actually developed with CAPC in mind. So it's a really helpful resource. So it was wonderful to have the ability to re-engage and refresh our knowledge on the Mother's Mental Health Toolkit. Then I'll hand it over to you, Kim.
Okay, yeah, another one of our highlights was the support role that the network played. This year, we played a role in providing space for connection. It was particularly important to network members as we held space for program staff to come together to discuss and understand the announcements from PHAC about upcoming significant program changes. And the importance of the network project was clearly acknowledged through the renewal process. The project was a key vehicle available for projects as well as the Public Health Agency of Canada to bring people together quickly to help inform the best way to move forward. And the voices of the project were centralized and amplified because we have the network project. So we felt that was another highlight of the year. And as well, the creation of the awareness raising toolkit. Sydney, you were going to speak to that.
Yes, apologies. I'm just answering a question here in the chat. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, so as part of, you'll see as we go through our objectives, we look to provide space for CAPC and CPNP projects to really understand their sort of identity and role. And it just seemed to be a really good an opportune time, as we were sort of, understanding the renewal announcement last year and what does this mean in terms of, who we are and what we do. And we had a volunteer group of folks come together, and we'll take a look at it a little more in depth later, but create an awareness toolkit that our goal around it was really to provide a resource for projects just to be able to talk more confidently about the work that they do, especially, as part of the renewal, we heard we're very encouraged to develop collaborations and partnerships. So we felt that it would be really beneficial for project members just to have a collection of information, about about CAPC and CPNP and the role we play in different areas like mental health or economic security or inclusion. So, so that was a really exciting initiative that took a lot of work, but I think it has been really beneficial. I've been having people reach out to me and just thank us for that because they find it really helpful. I think that was, could show you really quickly the actual website. you able to see that, Kim?
Yeah.
So that we've got all our awareness toolkit hosted online, able to access through clicking a link. And this is the main page that you can see the different resources that we have. The toolkit was created to provide network members resources to support program awareness raising. So we have a summary paper that brings it all together. We've got some talking points that are just clearly a bullet listed, things that like the history of CAPC and CPNP and that kind of thing. And then we've got 3 distinct discussion papers, one on mental health, one on supporting equity deserving families, and one on poverty and food insecurity. So these resources are available to our network members. Does anybody have any questions about the awareness toolkit before we go back? Okay. I think we're back here. Yes, I think the right spot.
You are.
Okay.
Yeah. And are we ready to move on to the work plan?
I think so. Of course, time is ticking by really quickly, isn't it?
I know.
So we'll just keep on moving. So in our work plan, we have 4 different objectives. Our first objective is to support increased network members' understanding of and engagement with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action, increasing network members' awareness of health inequity experienced by Indigenous populations, and understanding of helpful and culturally appropriate ways to respond. So just quickly in terms of our progress this past year, we wanted to highlight that our annual survey actually showed an impact on understanding and implementation of truth and reconciliation. We continue to aim to establish partnerships to support our goals of promoting inclusion. Our coordinating committee meetings have dedicated time set aside to discuss truth and reconciliation and look for ways to bring these conversations to zone meetings and to the larger membership. You can see here on the slide a couple of examples of events or activities. I already mentioned the blanket exercise, which was a really powerful experience. We also were able to be a venue for the Aunties on the Road presentation, which was also a lot of great learning for us. Impacts of the child welfare system on Indigenous perinatal health. We also host a reconciliation, a truth and reconciliation guide that's online and available to our members. And also every year as a pre-conference activity, we host an Indigenous project sharing circle. So those are just some of the some examples of our work with this first objective. Objective 2 is to support our network members to have increased access to information about the latest practice trends, tools, and resources that they need to do their work, providing quality service to vulnerable families in Ontario. And to that end, some of our learning activities this year. Here's a sample of events that we've hosted every November. We actually partner with the Ontario Regional Office to host a National Child Day celebration. I mentioned our yearly annual conference, and you can see here one of the sessions on identifying and disrupting today's racism as an example of one of the sessions offered there. Webinar that we hosted, one of them was the Health Inequities Data Tool, and I believe it was I apologize for forgetting her name, but a staff from the Ontario Regional Office came and provided us information on how to access and make use of that data tool. Another webinar that we hosted was an introductory session on basic, running group skills. So that's sort of an example of the sort of array or the types of sessions that we tend to offer. There were actually 16 events in total this past year. And I think that was all that I wanted to say about that. Move on to objective 3, where CAPC and CPNP staff across Ontario have increased awareness of and engagement with network resources, that we're making those connections, getting people connected to zone meetings, communities of practice, or as learning circles, as we call them now, webinars, our newsletter, and participating on WebConnects, our community web board. So in terms of our newsletter, it does remain a popular resource. Our subscription rate seems to be constant. And what I'm seeing from that is that as people are leaving positions, they are making an effort to connect the people who replace them with that resource. So to me, that speaks quite well of the engagement level of network members. We also have a knowledge center on WebConnects that we are nurturing and hoping will grow into a much used resource for our network members. This is a place where we are providing a listing of resources that we consider to be best practice. So yeah, I think so we continue to work on the best way to gather also project information. We would like to, going forward, have a useful format for members to access a listing or a mapping of projects across Ontario. So that's something that we also continue to work on. Are there questions in the chat? Should I check that out here?
You're good, Sydney. I'm looking for you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Debbie. For objective 4, let me see if I can, there we go. This is the piece around our sense of identity and understanding the purposes and key messages of CAPC and CPNP. And we really saw our work there in that the development of the awareness toolkit that I mentioned earlier, and the discussion papers that are a part of that toolkit. We look into, as we go forward, further resources that may be helpful to our network. But we thought this was a really great example of how we are doing that identity piece. And I think I already took you to that site, so yeah, I think that's. I kind of did go through really quickly, just in terms of being aware of time. And so now I'm going to hand it back over to Kim.
Well, thank you. That was a really good, short and sweet, but it really good summary of the work plan and what we've done this past year. Just in summary and conclusion, our network continues to provide valuable services to our members through offering ongoing access to education and training, as Sydney was explaining, and at no cost to programs, as well as there's lots of opportunities for connections with CAPC CPNP project staff in their regions of Ontario through the network newsletter and zone meetings. I know we look forward to that newsletter every Friday. Moving forward, our challenges. One of the most significant challenges we are facing in the upcoming year is how to sustain the level of support that the network project has played with both the programs across the province and supporting PHAC initiatives such as the Maternal Mental Health Awareness event in May. You know, as was mentioned earlier, the network is a connector. It is real help right here, right now. It listens to the successes and challenges projects are experiencing in serving vulnerable populations. It responds and has the ability to pivot as needed to this information. The network communicates to members through weekly newsletters and web connects. It brings projects together by providing opportunities for discussions and addresses gaps in training through ongoing evaluation, relevant webinars, and our annual conference. Having to scale back on this work would have a negative impact, and the work would not be the same. The sponsoring agency continues to subsidize this work every year, and going forward, this won't be possible. We'll be looking at ways to scale back on current activities to address this issue. So again, moving forward, we see the ongoing need for resources and training to support programming grounded in equity, diversity, inclusion, decolonization, values and principles, as well as project evaluation activities. And this is something we're really excited about. Our current evaluation toolkit project in collaboration with the Center for Community-Based Research to help fill this gap for our network members. And Sydney, I wonder if you could speak to that toolkit.
Well, yeah, just a little bit in that this is something we're currently engaged in, so it's not so much a reflection on the past year, but going forward. And we have struck a steering committee to guide this work forward, and that group is going to meet, I believe, for the first time next week. And we have about a year in terms of our work plan to end up with a website, hopefully that hosts some webinars and information sheets on conducting evaluation. I was quite taken aback and delighted by the number of folks who reached out to participate on the steering committee, which to me was a real indicator of the interest and need for a resource like this. So we are definitely looking forward to seeing how that unrolls in this year coming up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we officially end this little info session, do any of our special guests today have any comments or questions regarding this presentation? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Alana has her hand up.
Yes, sorry, thanks. Alana.
No, it was great. Thank you. I'm just wondering, we introduced the zone leads and spoke about it a bit, but I'm wondering if you can go into a bit of the details of those calls, how they're structured, and how your teams work really well with PHAC staff to chair those zone meetings.
The zone meetings or the coordinating committee meetings?
The zone meetings.
Yeah.
The zone meetings take place in every zone a little differently. Each zone determines how often they want to meet. It could be quarterly, every second month, every month. It depends on the needs of the zone. And yeah, during that meeting, usually our program lead, Sydney, is there, and a PHAC representative. So the updates are coming to the zone reps at each meeting, and a member of the coordinating committee is at the meeting to give an update of what our last coordinating committee, what we had discussed, things that are coming up, especially Sydney, your update on what's coming up and what's available to the network to take part in.
Yeah.
That's great. I think for Sachita, it's just such a great practice to highlight because there's so many projects. So this is a really nice way to get people into manageable groups. And it's a co-chairing activity, really facilitated by the committee and different zone chairs, plus the PHAC staff. And I think in addition to that information flow, people get a lot out of the best practices that are shared and any intelligence coming off of the ground. I know it comes to me through those zone meetings. So thought it was a nice practice to highlight.
Thank you. And I think it's important to mention too, like the connections between folks who are in, regions close together, because Ontario is so big, Elena, as you mentioned, so those manageable sizes, right? Yeah.
And unique.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. Okay.
And that's one of the things at the zone meetings, members get to, we all give our program updates, and we learn so much from each other, and just listening to those updates really, if there is a common theme, that's something then that comes back to the coordinating committee then as well. Is what are the difficulties that projects are experiencing? What are the gaps, and so really get to hear that firsthand. Suchita.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you just described that, because I think it's so important, the information flow, but for everybody to hear like that two-way flow, that in what's happening in the zone, what's happening in the committee, what's happening, and for the regional PHAC colleagues, for them to hear it as well. I think that's really, really important, because the nuances get lost otherwise. So I think it's a really great practice. No, I just wanted to say thank you. This is wonderful. And I came a couple of years ago when I was acting for Henry, and I really did enjoy all the updates then. And it's really incredible how much work all of you do, whether it's within your zone or whether it's on the committee and the coordinating committee. It's incredible how much you manage and how much support you give each other, which is incredible. So thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yvette, did you have your hand up?
No, I just wanted to highlight that, that zone meetings are a safe place where there's been a lot of turnover in projects. So it's a great way to sort of see a face. A lot of times we were able to meet in person in our zone meetings, and it was amazing how far people would travel just to have a face-to-face conversation. The amount of problem solving, troubleshooting, sharing of information and solutions to commonalities, common problems, that is really time sensitive and applicable, I think really highlights the needs to the meetings. We used to have them quarterly, and during COVID, they became monthly, and it continued to be monthly for a very, very long time, just for that emotional support and connection. And Sydney is such a wealth of information. I think of getting, in touch with her, people not understanding, the web board, or how to access certain types of training or information or registration, when there's the learning curve is so great that it's great to have, a community of support that you can rely on and connect with, different projects that can help you find what you're looking for. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right. Oh,
Blanca has her hand up.
Yeah, just really quickly, as my role is a liaison from the funder with this committee, and I've had the great privilege to be part of this for many years, many years, and each is just such an amazing opportunity, because we have people that come and go and people that return. So I'm just always in admiration of y'all, the work that you put in, a lot of times work that you're doing, in the corner of your desk. And I really wanted to say how much I appreciate that, because you do it on behalf of all the projects across the province. And also, it provides us, the PHAC, the opportunity to carry out a number of regional initiatives that this has been a venue since COVID, that has allowed us to, have some of our regional initiatives become a collaboration with this group. And of course, to thank Sydney for all your hard work. It wouldn't happen without you. You're amazing. And I just wanted to really, say how much I appreciate all your work and your commitment to the programs.
Thank you, Blanca. Any other thoughts or comments before we wrap up? I would like to pull a plug for our Father Focus event coming up on June 14th, if all goes well, and just keep an eye on the newsletter for registration information. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we have one more question. Alana?
Sorry. Yeah, just you don't have to answer now, but I'm wondering if there's a way we can continue or better support you as we approach renewal. We know everyone was involved in a very big onerous lift to have all the projects extended, and we're all keeping very up to date and appraised of the new communication as it comes out. But as we work towards 2026, if there's something we can do around communication or support, I know the capacity building seminars are coming up. Let us know now if you can think of it. If not, feel free to reach out through Blanca or myself or Nancy or Sachita.
Thank you. Sure.
Keep that in mind. Tina.
So I am in Windsor at Ready, Set, Go, and we have been working very hard on finding a good program to track our attendance and track the different outreach we offer and to keep track of our case notes. And it's been quite a search, but I have gotten in touch with the people who have written the program for the early on. And they are very interested in adapting it for CAPC programs. So if anyone finds that interesting and would like to learn more, can you just let me know? I don't know how to, you can reach out to me. My email is just tinaetzl@gmail.com. And we could talk about that. At this moment in time, each organization would contribute financially. I haven't got the power to get any money anywhere else. But anyhow, it's just a thought that you might share in something like that.
Thanks, Tina. I'd certainly be happy to forward, information to you as well if anybody reached out to me. Thanks for bringing that forward.
Could you put your email in the chat, please, before you go? Thank you.
Perfect.
There, Tina's got her email in the chat if anybody wants to connect.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
I think that's bringing us to the end. We made it through, Kim.
We did.
and all the coordinating committee members who are here. Thanks so much. Jason, was that an accidental? Just ignore? Okay. Well, I think what we are going to do is wrap things up. I will actually just stop recording.